Okay, so if you're a musician and just hearing the word marketing makes you want to run for the hills, this is for you. We're going to completely flip the script on this whole thing. Forget the hacks, forget the tricks. We're talking about something way more authentic and, let's be honest, way more effective.
Let's just start right here, because this is the whole problem, isn't it? We've all been sold this idea that marketing is about finding some secret hack or the perfect hook. But what does that really get you? That constant pressure to gain the system, that's not building a real fan base. It's just more noise. It doesn't forge a genuine, lasting connection with the people who might actually fall in love with what you do.
So, if marketing isn't about some cheap trick, then what is it? Well, here's the one idea that changes absolutely everything. Marketing isn't a trick, it's translation. That's it. It's the art of taking that feeling, that thing you poured your whole soul into creating, and translating it into words that a listener can actually see themselves in. That's the entire game.
Now, why does so much of it just feel wrong? You know that feeling, right? It's cringy, it feels fake. It's because most of it is written from a place of pure fear. Fear of being ignored, fear of doing it wrong, and when you're afraid, what do? You just copy what you think marketing is supposed to sound like instead of, just talking like a human being about your own art.
Okay, so breaking out of that fear loop is really tough. And believe it or not, this is where a tool like AI can actually be a huge help. But I already know what you're thinking. And that brings us to the #1 misconception that artists have about using it.
And here it is, the elephant in the room. But won't AI just make me sound like some generic corporate robot? And you know what? That is a totally 100% valid concern. I mean, if you're trying to get away from generic marketing, why on earth would you turn to a tool that seems to be the king of generic?
Well, this right here shows you exactly why that fear is, kind of misplaced. It's simple. The AI's output is nothing more than a direct reflection of its input. If you give it a lazy, generic prompt, surprise, you're going to get a lazy, generic response. But what if you feed it your actual lyrics, your real bio, your best social media posts, your half-finished thoughts? You're not just feeding it data points, you're feeding it your humanity, and that is exactly what it's going to give you back.
And this brings us to the big idea, the central revelation of this entire approach. And it's a pretty big mindset shift. It requires you to stop thinking of AI as some kind of ghostwriter and start seeing it as something else entirely. We're going to call it the AI mirror. See, a tool like this doesn't create your voice out of thin air, no way. It reveals it. It takes all your authentic stuff, your real thoughts and words, and reflects them back at you with this newfound clarity. It's like you on your very best day. Clear, grounded, intentional. It's not cheating, it's just powerful leverage. Okay, so that's the big picture philosophy. But how do you actually do this? Let's get practical. Let's jump into the playbook and walk through the exact steps to go from bland and boring to real and human.
All right, here's your action plan. It's super simple. First, you're going to feed the AI your lyrics and your real bio. And I don't mean the polished, perfect one. I mean the one you'd actually tell someone at 1 in the morning after a show. Then you're going to add in any past posts that felt genuinely you. It doesn't matter how many likes they got. Now, here's the absolute key, the final step. You do not ask it to write anything yet. First, you tell it to study everything you gave it, and then summarize your voice back to you. This is how you make sure it's actually listened and understood your unique way of seeing the world.
And boom, here's the result. Instead of that dead-on-arrival post, "New single out now, link in bio," the AI, which is now trained on your authentic voice, helps you find something more like this. "I almost didn't release this one because it was too honest." You see the difference? It's night and day. One is just a sterile announcement. The other is a real human invitation into the story behind the song. That's how you build actual trust.
Or let's take a show promotion. The old way is basically a command, right? Tickets on sale now, don't miss it. It feels demanding, but when you use this new approach, you get something that feels totally different. Something like, if you've only heard these songs through headphones, this is where they change. That's not a sales pitch, that's an invitation to share an experience. It treats the listener with respect.
So look, this isn't just about getting a few more likes or feeling a little better about your Instagram feed. This is about taking that genuine connection and turning it into real, actual, sustainable support for your work. And this exact same way of thinking applies directly to something like selling merch. The classic mistake artists make is they describe the t-shirt. Nobody cares about the fabric blend. Instead, describe the meaning behind it.
explain why this thing even exists. So instead of just a picture of a shirt, you could say something like, "Hey, I made these because turning is crazy expensive. And honestly, every single shirt we sell helps keep us on the road and bring this music to your town." And just like that, you're not a salesperson anymore. You're inviting your fans to be partners in the journey with you.
So all of these things, the social posts, the show promos, selling merch, they all boil down to one single core philosophy. Let's just call it the anti-marketing rule.
So what is it? What's the one rule that can change everything? The one simple filter you can run every single post, every email, everything through to make sure you're staying true to this whole idea?
It's this simple. If it wouldn't make sense to say it to one real person after a show, don't post it. Just think about that for a second. You're standing there face to face with a fan who just had an amazing time. Would you really, literally say, "New single out now, link in bio," to their face? Of course you wouldn't. The screen doesn't change what feels human. All it does is remove the eye contact.
And really, that's the whole point. When you adopt this mindset, marketing stops being this awful performance, this fake mask you feel like you have to put on. It just becomes communication. Real, direct, human communication. And that gap between who you are online and who you are in real life, it just disappears. And that authenticity, that is what people connect with. It's what they remember. And ultimately, it's what they'll show up to support.